From the words of the prophet Isaiah, he described the people of Bamenda as messengers of peace, whose feet are dusty from a land marked by hardship, yet rich in hope and perseverance. Pope Leo XIV expressed gratitude for the witness of unity shown by Christian and Muslim communities who have come together to promote dialogue and mediation amid the ongoing crisis. He praised their efforts as a sign of hope, noting that such collaboration offers an example to the wider world. At the same time, the Pope issued a strong warning against those who manipulate religion and the very name of God for their own interest, stressing that such actions distort what is sacred and sow division and violence. Encouraging the faithful not to lose hope, he described Bamenda as a city on a hill, called to shine as a light of justice and peace, despite years of conflict. He commended especially those who care for the wounded and traumatized, acknowledging their often hidden and dangerous service. The Holy Father lamented the reality of war, observing that it only takes a moment to destroy, yet often a lifetime is not enough to rebuild. He decried the vast resources spent on weapons and destruction, while little is invested in healing, education, and restoration. Pope Leo XIV also criticized the systems of exploitation that drain resources from vulnerable regions, warning that such practices perpetuate cyclones of instability and suffering. He called instead for a decisive change of course, urging all people to embrace a path rooted in fraternity, justice, and care for creation. Emphasizing that peace is not something artificially created, the Pope said it is discovered through recognizing one another as brothers and sisters, called to live together in a shared human family. Concluding his address, he invited all people to take part in the silent revolution of love and solidarity, working together in their respective vocations and fostering concrete acts of charity. Echoing the words of Pope Francis in Evangelii Gaudium, he affirmed that his mission, like that of every Christian, is to be at the heart of the people, proclaiming the gospel through a life of service and compassion.
Lilongwe Archdiocese Auxiliary Bishop, His Lordship Vincent Frederick Mokowa, says mental health remains a critical but often overlooked aspect of healthy care. He made the remarks on Thursday at Mlali Community Health Center under Traditional Authority Chiseka in Lilongwe during the launch of the Mental Health Project, an initiative by St. John of God, Malawi, aimed at improving access to mental health services. Auxiliary Bishop Mokowa, who blessed the launch as guest of honor, described the initiative as timely and important, noting that it addresses long-standing gaps in mental health care delivery. Alison Banda has read this report.
The Auxiliary Bishop Vincent Frederick Mokowa acknowledged the Bishops' Conference of Italy CEI for funding the initiative, saying their support demonstrates a strong commitment to improving lives at a community level. However, he emphasized the need for transparency and accountability in the implementation of the project, warning against any form of mismanagement of funds. Bishop Mokowa further said the Catholic Church is committed to supporting initiatives that promote well-being and dignity of all people, especially the vulnerable.
The problem that we have in Malawi are due to lack of awareness. People don't know that they have problems, they have issues, and also people don't know that they can seek help, and people don't know how best to help each other. We would like also to thank the Catholic bishops and the Catholics in Italy, and also people in Italy who have given us this donation through the Bishops' Conference. We understand in this day-to-day, money is a problem in the whole world. It is not easy to get such resources. But our friends in Italy have been so generous to think about Malawi, knowing and understanding issues of mental health. So we thank them so much, the bishops in Italy and all the people of God in Italy, for their generosity, for their support. This is what we call missionary solidarity, unity in the global family, so that we support each other with the resources that we have, so that others can get support and get salvation. So through them, we have experienced Jesus Christ loving us and healing us.
In his remarks, Tradition Authority Chiseka thanked St. John of God under the Catholic Church leadership for introducing the initiative in his area. He said the project will bring relief to many people struggling with mental health challenges in the community. He further appealed for support towards traditional leaders, noting that they too face various pressures and challenges that affect their mental well-being, yet often lack access to mental health support. Chief Executive Officer for St. John of God, Dr. Charles Maslan, said the institution is committed to supporting individuals facing mental health challenges and ensuring they receive the necessary assistance. He added that the organization will uphold transparency and accountability throughout the implementation of the project.
Is very important because we know mental health issues are on the surge at the moment, and unfortunately the mental health facilities in Malawi are located in tertiary facilities but also in the cities, and because we want to be accessible to people as close as where they are, we think that working with the health facilities within the diocese will make us reach people to where they are staying, rather than expecting them to travel to the cities where they cannot afford transport. And that will help reduce the incidence of mental illnesses, but also worsening mental health problems in our country.
In her remarks, Minister of Health Representative Madalit Soma Kalila said the government appreciates the work the Catholic Church is doing in the country, particularly in the health sector. She emphasized that the mental health is especially important at a time when many people are going through various social and economic challenges.
So this initiative that we are launching today, that's community mental health, that we are launching today at Mlali Mission Hospital and the Archdiocese of Lilongwe. It's a very important initiative that as a government we are not taking it for granted. We are very happy because it's in line with the HSP PSS 3.
The mental health project is expected to enhance mental health awareness and improve service delivery and provide needed much support to communities in Lilongwe, Mchinji and Dowa districts. The mental health project is expected to enhance mental awareness, improve service delivery, and provide much needed support to communities in Lilongwe, Mchinji and Dowa districts.
The National Food Reserve Agency says it is set to commence maize purchases in the coming weeks, expressing confidence in its preparedness despite concerns over damaged silos at its Kanengo depot. This follows the Ministry of Agriculture's recent announcement of this year's farm gate prices, paving the way for government grain procurement. In an interview with Luntha television, NFRA's Senior Marketing Corporate Affairs Officer Arthur Mpakeni confirmed that the agency is targeting May to June for the start of purchases, subject to the availability of funds. Constance Kantamini has filed this report.
In an interview with Luntha television, agriculture expert.
In his remarks, Mpakeni emphasized that the NFRA does not procure maize on credit, noting that buying will only begin once adequate financial resources are secured. He added that the agency fully adheres to the Ministry of Agriculture's farm gate pricing and will implement the exercise in line with government guidance once funding is in place. Mpakeni also downplayed concerns over the situation at Kanengo Depot, stating that only 8 silos holding an estimated 40,000 metric tons have been affected. He indicated that the facility still retains a storage capacity of about 140,000 metric tons, which he said is adequate for the planned procurement.
No, as NFRA, we normally buy when we have the resources in our account, because we don't normally want to be buying on credit. So we plan to buy as early as possible. These early months of May, June, these are the months that we normally start buying. It is our hope also that this time around would most likely start around these months. No, she is the Minister of Agriculture and we are under Minister of Agriculture. So it's the same language. As much as what she said is what we are going to implement. We have votes in the Minister of Agriculture. So when the money is in the account, when the resources are there, the procurement process will start.
In addition, the NFRA operates 7 other depots nationwide, offering substantial combined storage capacity for maize. The development comes at a time of increased focus on food security as Malawi enters the harvest season with expectations of improved yields following favorable rainfall across many parts of the country. For Luntha News, this is Constance Kamtemi.
Tobacco Association of Malawi Tama Farmers Trust President Abel Kalima has urged tobacco growers to align their production with market demand, warning that overproduction could result in low prices during the upcoming marketing season. Kalima made the remarks at a time when the Tobacco Commission is expecting high volumes of tobacco this season, exceeding demand levels set by buying companies. We have more in this report filed by Gift Kalonga.
TAM President Abel Kalima said farmers must consider market requirements when planning their production, cautioning that producing beyond demand puts them at a disadvantage during sales. He explained that excess supply weakens farmers' bargaining power and ultimately leads to lower earnings. Kalima also noted that farmers have limited selling options as all tobacco in Malawi is sold through Tobacco Commission's regulated markets. He stressed that this leaves growers with little choice but to accept prices offered by buyers, making disciplined production crucial for their livelihoods.
Looking at the periodic trends in as far as tobacco markets are concerned in this country, we have always had issues surrounding prices, rejections on the floors, which we believe this time around we will have lesser cases on the same. We are also acknowledging the fact that this year there is an anticipation of overproduction, more than what the buyers would want to buy on the market. So, on the supply side, we have more volumes as compared to what the buyers have demanded on the market. So this is giving us a clear indication that we might have chances of low prices, considering that we will have an increase in supply as compared to demand.
Meanwhile, agriculture expert Renard Chimwaza has called for stronger collaboration between government and tobacco buyers to stabilize the market and ensure fair prices for farmers. He said proper coordination is essential to avoid imbalance between supply and demand. Chimwaza further advised farmers to follow recommended production practices in order to improve the quality of their tobacco, noting that higher quality would enhance competitiveness on the market.
We need to grow tobacco according to the credit demand. If we overproduce, what we can do is just to edge the current buyers, because we don't have any alternative market apart from the current buyers. Because in Malawi, there is a law that we need to, all tobacco grown in Malawi need to be sold on the market operated by the Tobacco Commission. So we don't have any alternative apart from just talk to them, to the buyers, to buy from us the excess kgs so that the farmers are safe.
Meanwhile, the Tobacco Commission is expected to open the tobacco marketing season at Lilongwe auction floors on Monday, April 20, followed by Chinkoma on 21 April, among the other markets. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Gift Kalonga.
Remember, you're watching news on Luntha Television with me, Fales Jizombe. Before you proceed, another look at the headlines. Pope Leo XIV in Bamenda urges end to manipulation of religion for violence. NFRA assures readiness for maize purchases amid Kanengo silo damage. Experts cite policy failures, low technology uptake in Malawi's hunger crisis. And in other news, Nigerian airlines plan shutdown over soaring fuel costs. Moving forward, agricultural expert Leonard Chimaza and economic expert Happy Chira have said poor implementation of agricultural policies, low adoption of modern farming technologies, and weak extension services are among the key factors driving Malawi's persistent hunger crisis. They were reacting to the 2025 Global Hunger Index report, which shows Malawi remains in a serious state of hunger and warns that progress in addressing the crisis has stalled. Judy Fogan has filed a report read in our studios by Adams Mwene-Lupembe.
In an interview with Luntha Television, agriculture expert Leonard Chimaza said Malawi's continued struggle with hunger is largely due to systematic failures in the agriculture sector, which have kept productivity low. Chimaza emphasized that poor implementation of existing policies, coupled with low uptake of modern farming technologies, is limiting crop yields across the country. He added that weak extension services mean many farmers lack access to critical knowledge and support, further affecting productivity.
Factors that are leading to food security in this country and also low production. Some of the issues typical in nature, whereby we have good policies in place, but we are not doing well in the implementation of those policies. For example, we have the irrigation master plan that must be followed by all the players in the country so that we have a robust irrigation farming.
In his remarks, economic expert Happy Chira said climate change and rising input costs are worsening the situation, affecting both production and food availability. Chira warned that erratic rainfall patterns and delayed access to farm inputs are negatively impacting crop yields. He said this is likely to push up food prices and affect inflation as reduced production leads to shortages on the market.
An issue that is happening on the ground. Though there are several factors, but one of the major issues is the issues relating to climate change. It's issues relating to the way we received the rains, the short as well as long dry spells that are taking.
Malawi has been ranked 95th out of 123 countries in the 2025 Global Hunger Index. The Global Hunger Index is a pre-reviewed annual report produced by Concern Worldwide, Vert Hunger Hife, and the Institute of International Law of Peace and Armed Conflict.
Now in sports, Malawi's national women's football team, the Scorchers, have concluded their FIFA Series campaign in Kenya on a disappointing note, finishing fourth after a narrow 3-2 loss to India on Wednesday at Nyayo Stadium. Reacting to the results, head coach Lavmo Fazili expressed frustration, citing complacency among his players as a major factor behind the defeat. Fazili noted that his side may have underestimated their opponents, particularly after facing a tougher and more demanding challenge in their opening match against Australia. Patrick Pupa has filed this report.
The Scorchers opened their campaign with a heavy 5-0 defeat to Australia, a result that exposed several weaknesses within the squad. They followed this with an improved performance against India, but still fell short, losing 3-2 in a closely contested match at Nyayo Stadium. Despite the disappointing results, Fazili emphasized that the tournament has been a valuable learning experience for the team. He said competing against high-level opposition has helped identify areas that need improvement, while also giving players important international exposure ahead of major competitions.
I think the game was not that tough as we compared to Australia. My players, maybe some players were taking things for granted. That maybe they lost against Kenya. They watched them playing, so for them, I think they think it's going to be very easy. And you have seen it well, the way they've performed. The goals which I've conceded, I think they are not goals that we were supposed to concede. So that is what you get when you relax or you take things for granted. We have lost 3-2 and we are almost number 4 in this tournament. So for me, I think it's bad. I'm very disappointed. And there's nothing that I can say at the moment.
The FIFA Series tournament was part of Malawi's preparation for the upcoming Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON to be held in Morocco in July. The tournament will also serve as a qualification pathway for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup qualifiers, making such preparations crucial in building a competitive squad. Meanwhile, Australia was crowned champions for the FIFA Series after defeating host Kenya with 2-0 in the final at Nyayo Stadium. For Luntha News, this is Patrick Pupa.
Now in international news, Nigerian Airlines say they will suspend operations from April 20th. 2026, citing the rising cost of aviation fuel and what they described as exploitative pricing by fuel marketers. The decision, which could disrupt air travel nationwide, was communicated in a letter dated April 14th by the president of the Airline Operators of Nigeria, Abdul Manaf Sarina, according to sources familiar with the matter. Chaite Chilanga with the African News Report.
Industry operators say the cost of jet A1 fuel has climbed to unsustainable levels, making it increasingly difficult to maintain daily operations. Fuel expenses account for a significant share of airline costs, and the continued price volatility has placed severe financial pressure on carriers already dealing with the tight margins. Airlines have accused fuel marketers of imposing arbitrary prices, further deepening the crisis. They warn that without immediate intervention, many operators may no longer be able to function. If the planned suspension goes ahead, it could have wide-reaching consequences. Domestic flights across Nigeria may be grounded, affecting passenger travel, cargo movements, and time-sensitive logistics. Businesses that rely on air transport, including trade and tourism, are also likely to feel the impact. Aviation stakeholders are urging the government to step in with measures to stabilize fuel prices or provide support to the sector. Beyond fuel costs, the industry is also grappling with foreign exchange shortages, high maintenance expenses, and infrastructure challenges. As of now, there has been no official response from regulators or fuel marketers Analysts warn that a prolonged shutdown could trigger broader economic ripple effects across Africa's largest economy.
That's about what we had time for in this edition of the news. Before we leave you, another look at the headlines. Pope Leo XIV in Bamenda urges end to manipulation of religion for violence. NFRA assures readiness for maize purchases amid Kanengo silo damage. Experts cite policy failures, low technology uptake in Malawi's hunger crisis. And in other news, Nigerian airlines plan shutdown over soaring fuel costs. I've been Fales Chezombe. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and goodbye for now.